What is going on, guys? The Inside the Booth podcast, and today we got a Giants preview for the Giants taking on the Green Bay Packers this week. And we have a lot of stuff to talk about. I mean, the biggest thing is obviously Brian Daboll not being in the headset anymore as the head coach for the New York Giants. That is Mike Kafka now taking duties, and we'll see how the team looks. I think that's something that the Giants fans are kind of wondering of how this team is going to play under Mike Kafka. Are they going to be any different? Are they going to have new juice? Because I will say this, right? Whenever there is a head coaching change, right, I feel like a lot of the players kind of see that as a sign that they're not doing good enough a job because they got their head coach fired. Obviously, Brian Daboll, the late game was not good, and overall, just the end of his tenure was not good for the Giants' sake and for the Giants' future. So we'll see how the Giants look under Mike Kafka. I mean, listen, I'm expecting a lot of similarities, to be totally honest. I don't think this team is just going to all of a sudden, change a lot. Obviously, Jackson Dart is not starting this week. It is going to be Jameis Winston, man. I tell you what, I'm excited to see Jameis Winston sling the football. We'll see how he plays against a solid defense led by Micah Parsons. Giants obviously facing former safety for the Giants. That was Xavier McKinney. Giants let him go, and they replaced him with Javon Holland, obviously. So we'll see how the team looks. And listen, the Giants offense, it's going to be tough to make plays. I mean, it's Wanda Robinson, Theo Johnson, and Tyrone Tracy mainly, right? You don't have Scadaboo. You don't have Darius Slayton. Obviously, no Malik Neighbors. So it's going to be interesting for Mike Kafka and the new offensive coordinator, which is the tight ends coach. I forgot his name, but it's going to be interesting how the Giants move the football against a good Packers team. But if there is one thing for the Packers that I have seen over the course of their season, that's it. They're very inconsistent, right? They look good one week, then the next week they absolutely poop it. So, I mean, that's where I think the Giants can maybe take advantage of that. If the Packers start off slow, maybe Jameis Winston has a nice drive to start it. I mean, Jameis Winston, listen, he's going to have to figure out how to make plays with, his weapons of choice. Well, not really his choice, but I think they could still create offense with, two tight end sets with Daniel Bellinger and Theo Johnson, or Wanda Robinson. You could see a big game out of him in the slot, or any of the other wide receivers on this team. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting how they move the football. But for the defense wise, Shane Bowen is gonna have to create something against Jordan Love, because Jordan Love, I think, has played well enough this season. I know a lot of people probably don't think that because their record. What are they, 5-3-1 right now, something like that. So I mean, it's gonna be tough for the Packers to play against the pass rush. If the pass rush shows up, I don't believe Kayvon Thibodeau is playing this week, so this is a big chance for Abdul Carter to get more reps on the edge, more reps, and we'll see how he does. I mean, we've seen how Brian Burns is on the other side. Maybe Abdul Carter can take advantage of this and have a solid game, and we need to see a full sack out of him. He's still sitting at 0.5. I mean, listen, I know people are going to say the statistics aren't great, but I mean, honestly, he just needs to finish his plays. I think that's been the biggest issue with Abdul Carter. Like last week, I mean, he got to Caleb Williams and then missed a sack, right? A few weeks ago, he made a nice play, and then he missed a sack. So listen, man, I still believe in him. Obviously, it's way too early for any Giant fan to try and criticize Abdul Carter because he was a top 3 pick in the NFL draft. Sometimes people start off maybe slower than others. I don't think Abdul Carter has played bad. I think he's had a lot of fun plays and a lot of fun to look at. I think people are just way too hard on him as a player because where he was drafted, and I get it. He was a top pick in the NFL draft. You want him to be a franchise-altering edge rusher, defensive player. But it takes time, right? I don't think Shane Bowen is the right coach for Abdul Carter. I think we can know that for a lot of players. Dexter Lawrence. I'd even say Brian Burns, even though Brian Burns is having a stellar start. Not really start. It's been 10 weeks, but he's had a great season. I think for a lot of players, they would benefit more with the new defensive coordinator, but they're not going to fire Shane Bowen mid-season. I know people saw Brian Daboll and asked a lot of people, why didn't they bring Shane Bowen with Brian Dable and fire both of them? Well, I mean, I feel like it's, kind of just one of those things that they're just going to keep the coordinators this season and kind of just ride it out the last few weeks of the season, because the Giants don't really have anything playing for the Packers-wise. They have a big game this week. I mean, if they lose and Chicago wins against, Minnesota they play against this week. So, I mean, a lot of stakes are at this game for the Green Bay Packers, and I know the Giants are a team that, can make this game close if the defense shows up and Jameis gives you a good enough game. But, it's going to be interesting how the game flow kind of happens. I really think it's either a very close game with Jameis, or we're going to see a lot of interceptions, and this Packers defense is going to really control this game. But the Giants offense, I mean, give them credit. Give Carmen Bracillo a lot of credit this season, even though the season has been an all-time low. The Giants offensive line, according to PFF, ranks at 11th this season. So, I mean, for the personnel, I don't even think it's perfect, the personnel up front. I think there are definitely some improvements, especially in the interior with John Runyon and Greg Van Roten. And I guess you could include JMS because, I mean, Jermaine Illuminar on the right tackle, Andrew Thomas on the left tackle have been phenomenal this season. I think the biggest thing for the Giants going into the draft, and I think we'll probably have a few mock drafts in the upcoming weeks. I know I said that a few weeks ago that maybe if the season does go south, which it kind of already has, all right, Brian Dable's out of a job, and there's a bunch of other things, right? The team is kind of giving up on themselves now because they know the season's over and they know they just have to show up to the game, and that's about it. So it's gonna be interesting for the Giants, but I mean, I tell you what, I'm still excited to see what Jameis Winston has to play. I mean, Jameis Winston has always been a fun player. He's always a vibe type guy. Even when your season's going south, put Jameis Winston in. And I'm glad Mike Kafka went to Jameis Winston over Russell Wilson, because out of all the quarterbacks, Jameis Winston has not played. So, I mean, why not give him a shot? According to Mike Kafka, he's played well in practice. According to Russell Wilson, he's prepared himself well. He's done a good job. So why not? I mean, the season's lost. Throw Jameis out there. See if we can maybe get a dub. But that's all I really have. I mean, pre-shows, when you don't really have much to play for, they're kind of short and sweet. Anyways, guys, leave a like. Subscribe to the channel. Bunch of new episodes are eventually going to be coming out either this weekend or definitely tune into next week. Turn your notifications on so you know when I post all of my videos or YouTube shorts. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok so you see other short posts as well. That is going to wrap it up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go Giants. Peace.